Streaming from the 22 News Broadcast Center. This is 22 News at 4 p.m. Digital Edition.
Hey, good Wednesday afternoon, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Nick Oresco. Another morning this morning well below zero in many places across western Massachusetts, and yet another cold day today. Let's bring in 22 News Storm Team meteorologist Brian Lapis now, continuing to track this cold. Brian.
Yeah, we got down to 11 below, I believe, this morning at Westover Air Reserve Base in Chicopee, and we were talking about how this morning was going to be the bottom of the cold, and we're going to start to slowly warm up here over the next couple of days. And I still think that holds true. In fact, our high temperatures today were a little bit warmer than they were at this time yesterday.
I mean, we can only go up from here, right?
Really good point.
All right.
It was actually about this time of year, and I think it was in the early 60s, and we did it again in 2011, I believe, where we had our all-time record low. About this time of year in January, 22 below zero.
Bone chilling.
It's our favorite number,
yes,
22.
It is.
Let's take a look at traffic, shall we? And you can see here, all green, Mass Pike, 291, 391, and I-91. So traffic is flowing fine here on this bright winter day. Let's take a look at temperatures. Up to 21 now, Westfield and Springfield at 18, also 18 in Northampton. Up to 23 now in Greenfield. We were expecting a high of 18 to 22, so these temperatures this afternoon line up pretty nicely with that. And we're a little bit cooler, as expected, in the Berkshires. 13 Pittsfield, 16 Great Barrington, and 15 in North Adams. It's bright and the wind is light. Look at that, calm wind. So actually, it has not been a bad day. If you add a layer, the sunshine is kind of nice and there's no wind to kind of cut through you. So hopefully you got a little bit of fresh air today. Mostly clear skies now, but as you can see here, there are clouds on the way in. So I expect that as we arrive into the mid-evening hours, early to mid-evening hours, we're going to be dealing with some clouds, and we'll show that to you with our 22 News Storm Team Skycast in just a couple of minutes. Nick?
The proposal for a new courthouse in Springfield has been approved by the State Asset Management Board. The proposal suggests building a new courthouse to replace the Roderick Island Courthouse in downtown. People who work in that current courthouse have said for a long time that it's no longer safe. Dozens of cancer cases have been linked to the mold in that building. With this approval, the state can put out calls for developers to determine a new location in Springfield by early next year. Governor Maura Healey proposed increasing state spending to more than $62 billion in the next fiscal year. The spending plan relies on expanding income tax collections from the state's richest and a slew of other budget balancing strategies. The budget would continue popular but pricey programs such as universal school meals, overhauls of transportation financing, and new policies such as traffic violation enforcement cameras. The Justice Department is directing its federal prosecutors to investigate any state or local officials who stand in the way of enforcement of immigration laws under the new Trump administration. That's according to a memo to the entire workforce sent out today. It says the department will return to the principle of charging defendants with the most serious crime it can prove. It signals an immediate and sharp turnaround in priorities from the Biden administration. One student is dead and another one is in the hospital following a shooting at a Tennessee high school. The shooter, a 17-year-old student, fatally shot himself after firing multiple shots at a high school this morning. 2 female students were injured in the attack. One of them later died from her wounds. The school was shut down and students were taken to a hospital to reunite with their families. Well, back now with meteorologist Brian Lapis. As we've been teasing, we are going to be getting warmer as we head throughout the rest of the week, Brian.
Yeah, all things are relative. Our average high temperature for this time of year is around 33, 34 degrees. We may make it there by the end of the weekend, but there will be some relative warming here as we head into the end of the week. Clouds and radar, as I mentioned earlier, you can see the clouds off to the west. So these are gradually working their way toward the Pioneer Valley, and we can see that on the 22 News Storm Team Skycast. 5 o'clock here this afternoon, a few clouds around, and I'm calling it variable clouds here tonight, but there's going to be a portion of the evening where the sky's kind of gray. 9 o'clock tonight, you can see mostly cloudy skies, and clouds continue here through the overnight hours. We'll be back down close to zero, I expect, tomorrow morning. 6 o'clock, 2 below to 4 above is what we're forecasting for our low here tomorrow morning. Notice the clouds early, and then by noontime, we're into some sunshine. So morning clouds giving way to at least partial sunshine in the afternoon. And those clouds that we get in the morning will be the sign of a little bit of warmer air arriving on a breeze from the south. High temperatures tomorrow, 26 to 30, so significantly warmer than we were today. We'll talk about the weekend on 22 News starting at 5.
Seattle Mariners legend Ichiro Suzuki became the first Japanese player chosen for baseball's Hall of Fame, falling 1 vote shy of unanimous. He was elected along with CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner. Sabathia and Suzuki were elected in their first appearance on the ballot. Wagner made it on his 10th and final try. The trio will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York on July 27th, along with Dave Parker and Dick Allen, voted in last month by the Classic Era Committee. Well, Netflix is raising prices again. The increase includes most plans. That includes the cheaper ad-supported plan. The standard commercial-free plan will now be nearly $18 a month. The cheaper plan is up to about $8. This as the company announced record growth, adding nearly 20 million subscribers in the fourth quarter to pass 300 million overall. Tonight on 22 News, starting at 5 o'clock, those below zero temperatures returned once again this morning. We'll explain why we're seeing this trend and how it is being felt locally. Plus, local fire departments are receiving grants from the state for new equipment. We'll hear from fire officials on these new additions. And we'll explain how you can limit your risk of carbon monoxide poisoning this winter as the risk goes up, Brian.
All right, traffic as we get the evening commute started is looking pretty good. No problems from Mass Highway here on I-91. Mass Pike is also looking good. And even in town here in Springfield, 391, 291, the merges are also looking fine. Weather stays dry into the weekend. We'll track the gradual warming trend, Nick, on 22 News at 5.
All right, Brian, thank you. And thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. Updates anytime on weather, traffic, and news at wwlp.com and the free 22 News app.